Vater, nächstes Mal weiß ich's. Am Start. Track record start.
Third race weekend of the BMW IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Cup at Innsbruck in Austria. This is the sliding centre in Eagles. There is the 270-degree Kreisel. You come in from the top left corner, loop round and exit underneath where you came in. And just look at the stunning scenery here in the Austrian Tyrol. We're just in the shadow of the Patchikow Mountain, one of the big ski areas here outside of Innsbruck. And it is a very busy day on the piste today because the weather is absolutely glorious. Hello everybody, welcome back to our coverage of the Monobob highlights from the first heat. Showing us our top three. Mika Moore, it's going to be an interesting battle for the medals.
It is, isn't it? Mel's put herself in an excellent position, third after the first run. I think, you know, her getaway, her experience from the runs from yesterday, she's utilising those as well. She's in a battle with, in second place, Bree Walker. Obviously, we know that she did really well yesterday. She's come back for more today. She's looking for that gold medal and she's wanting to take it from our gold medal winner, Lisa Buckwitz.
Lisa won here in February. She won here yesterday, so she is absolutely the favourite. And those little mistakes you saw on Brianna's run cost her a 1/10 of a second. There were mistakes from Buckwitz as well. So I think this comes down to who makes fewer mistakes in the second heat. 1300s cover the top three. Only 500s out of the medals is last week's winner in La Plan, Keisha Love. Lana Myers-Taylor finished 5th yesterday. She currently lies 6th behind Cynthia Appia, who was in 8th place in yesterday's race. So there have been some changes. Behind Adele Nicol, there's a tie for 10th, Wai Min Ming and Margot Bock. So lots of close battles going on. There is Lisa with Marco, the sled tech, the guy who looks after all the German sleds. And closest to the camera there is still René Spies. Brianna Walker, coached by the great Pierre Luders. Not only a world and Olympic medalist for Canada, but also their coach for many years. And there's Keisha Love and Alana Myers-Taylor, the two American sliders, finished 4th and 5th. Keisha ahead of Alana yesterday. Andrea Grecu, little safer, little less worrying on the starts this morning than she was yesterday. 2 early starts for our Monobob athletes. Not quite so early this morning as it was yesterday. Leaving the hotels in the dark is always a sign that you're deep in the middle of winter. Well, here is our starting order for the second heat. They go in reverse order the first heat performance, so we go last to fast. Julia Slupecker will be first off. And as we get into the battle for the medals, final three will be the current top three: Mendeley Hassner, Brianna Walker and Lisa Buckwitz. Race 3 of the BMW IBSF Women's Monobob World Cup, the second of a double duty weekend here in Innsbruck in Austria. Martin Haven, Mika Moore watching Julia Slupecker of Poland getting this race underway. The 24-year-old making her World Cup debut yesterday here. Julia finished in 18th place yesterday, has a little bit less of a worry at the start. 6:41, a little bit quicker than her first getaway.
Yeah, and we see her load into the sled. She's very, very slow loading into the sled, trying not to move it out of the grooves at all.
Yeah, not sure that's playing too well for her. She nearly hit the wall in the first heat. She ran into the expansion joint in the second heat. Nevertheless, it's all about the learning process here for Julia. Ooh, hits the wall hard out of the Kreisel.
Yeah, and we mentioned yesterday, last year the pilots had a little bit of a helper on Kreisel because they had the blue dots following them round, but this year it's not there. It might be a little bit harder for someone like Julia to spot that exit as she's coming off Kreisel.
56.68 first heat across the line, 56.69. And her start was 600ths of a second quicker. So just 100th variation between the two runs. However, as with most young pilots, if you overlay the two runs, I'm sure that not 1 metre of it would be the same, apart from when the sled's stationary at the top and coming down the drive lines. Well, this is the exit of the Kreisel. Big hit on that left-hand side. So I have to rattle the fillings, isn't it?
That's when you hear a little "ooh" in the sled.
Well, when you're in the monobob, it's only your own voice you're hearing, isn't it? Big sideways out of corner 9, down into 10. All right, well, she's made her World Cup debut. So still early in her career. Julia Slipeka is done and dusted. Next up, Giada Andreuti of Italy. Giada, 28 years of age now. Competed in the Winter Games and in last year's World Champs in the monobob. In and down very quickly. She gets in with good alacrity. 6:52, trying to make as much of her start as she can.
Yeah, so a 6:51 in heat 1 and a 6:52. It's consistent, and that's all we can ask.
Now let's see if she can find a little bit more pace with a neat and tidy run down here. It's going to be quite a stretch for her to try and catch the next slider, Victoria Chernanska of Slovakia.
Nice exit of Kreisel there.
And what she'll be looking for is to tidy up mistakes that she knows she made in the first heat. Nice exit from 9 down to 10. Not too high in 10. And then the lower labyrinth. These corners really come at you fast, don't they, Mika?
But you feel the injection of speed out of 10. That really long, rangy slope sends you into 11 very quickly.
56.25, 300s quicker than her first heat. So there is still some life in the track, definitely. Simone Bertazzo there, running down to help out. You can see there the tiny needle spikes on the sled, on the shoes rather.
She'll be looking to the future, you know, getting as many runs as possible. It's a home games for her coming up in the next few years, so an exciting opportunity for Italy.
Yep. Simone Bertazzo, Max Arndt coaching the Italians. Slovakia, Victoria Chernanska, a much smaller operation. 16th fastest at the start, 16th at the bottom, but just 100th behind the better of the two polo sleds of Linda Wyszewski. And when you've got that tantalising carrot dangling in front of you, there's just that extra little spice, because effectively, between these two sleds, it is a dead heat. 100th here or there, that's ducking your head at the line, isn't it? Trying to get that rock into the sled, get it moving, break the inertia, build as much speed as possible again. In and down before the drive lines run out, so she's got full control of the sled. 6:22, identical to her first start.
Yeah, as you said, rocking the sled at the top of the track there. You know, when the ice is like this, sometimes it can become a little bit sticky at the top, so you want to get the sled moving before you give it a good push.
In the green over Giada Andreuti of Italy, but that is not her target. Her target will be waiting at the top to come down next. Linda Wyszewski of Poland. 96.1, best speed so far.
Really nice exit of Kreisel and exit of 9 there. We didn't see that in the first heat.
Her first heat was a 55.66. Let's see how much quicker she is this time. Ducks ahead, 2/10 quicker. So that's a big improvement for Victoria Chernanska from an identical start in pretty much similar conditions, you've got to think, because the sun's been out the whole time, the air is still crisp and cold, the track should still be hard and fast. She's found 2/10, and that's tidying up a couple of slides that just give you that extra speed.
Yeah, and you know, this is what we're saying about these more novice pilots, these ones that don't have as much experience. It's much more difficult for them to put down 2 consistent runs, but for her, giving her that confidence that she can do it, and going forward, she'll be able to do the runs.
She was still in the sled there as she whipped it down across the finish line, but if you tuck your head out of the way, you can gain 2 or 3 hundredths of a second at that kind of speed, and that, as we know, can be the difference between maybe 1, maybe 2 positions, maybe more. So Linda Wyszewski is next up. Now she started nearly 2/10 quicker than Victoria in the first heat, came down just 1/100th in front. So she started 6:04 to 6:22 of Victoria Jananska. And the rule of bobsleigh says that if you're a 10th up at the start, you should be 3/10 up at the bottom because of the extra velocity. She has got good turnover. Let's see what she does here. 6:02, so even quicker.
Yeah, slightly quicker at the start, and I think it's key to mention that she is one of our smaller monobob pilots, so she does have a lot of weight in the back of that sled, maybe around 10 kilos added in, so it's a very impressive start, actually.
You know what she feels, don't you, Mika? Mika also not over 6 foot, it's fair to say.
Very much below 6 foot.
37. Do you count your height in fractions? That's always a giveaway. 3,700s up to 3,200s up now. That rattle out of Kreisel is going to cost her, and that gap will come way down. This is a little like the first run. Good up to Kreisel, and not quite so sharp below it. 1,700s back. She might hold on. Gonna be close. 500s in it. All right, 55.42. She was 400s quicker than Victoria Jananska on that run alone, plus 100 from the previous heat. That's why Victoria was tucking ahead as early as she could spot the exit, drive down to it, get your head out of the way, see if you can find enough to close the gap. Well, there's the exit of Kreisel, back bumper. Just drags the wall, look at that. She's trying to keep the nose over to driver's right, but the tail isn't having it, and that kicks her into a slide. And down into 8, she manages to get it squared up. Okay, so Linda Wyszewski leads with 14 sleds to go. Next up is Austria's Kathi Beil, former World Cup Crystal Globe winner in women's bobsleigh in the 2021 season. Missed the whole of last year after a mini stroke. She started driving and recovering from that fairly quickly. Back in the World Cup now this season. 6:07 the getaway, a whisker quicker than her first.
Yeah, a slight improvement on the start, and I'm sure it's something to do with the flamingo socks, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, she's got 1,500s behind 10th place, so there's a definite target. I don't think she was at all happy with her first run. If she tidies up exit Kreisel and exit 9, she should be a lot happier.
Yeah, we saw a shake of the head down at the bottom, but she will be happy with that exit Kreisel, surely.
Yeah, a little skid, which is less than ideal. And again, little late exit out of 9, but she didn't make any contact. Speed is still there. Jananska still has the top speeds down at the bottom of the track on that fresher ice. But a 55.35, now that would have left her 300s out of the top 10 in the first heat. That's 1,200s quicker than she managed. So that has had a sizable effect, tidying up those 2 little exits. So that's better. She's coming back.
Yes, and we love to see it.
Well, I guess, you know, nobody has to ask Kathi Beil what she wants for Christmas. They just buy her the most random socks they can find, and they will get used.
Maybe the only person who wants socks for Christmas.
Under the age of 60, yes, exactly. And above the age of 4.
Hey everyone, now we're ready for the 2-man.
There you go. So Kathi Beil leads, 5 down, 13 to go. Ying Ching of China continuing our battle in the second race of the Women's Monobob World Cup here in Innsbruck in Austria. Second and deciding heat here this Saturday morning. 8th fastest at the start. Not a great run down though for our Chinese driver. Only 13th at the line. And yesterday she finished in 13th place. So she has an 800ths of a second advantage over current leader Austria's Kathi Beil. Will she hold on to it? Well, 5.98 gives her an extra 10th added to that.
Equaling her start from heat 1 of 5.98. I think the Chinese siders have found a little bit of difficulty on this track this time round. Struggling to find the speed down the track, but still in the green.
Again, exit Kreisel proving problematic, and that is going to slice out some of that early lead, and the big skid out of 9. That's the opposite direction to how she slid in the first run. Quarter of a second up. Looks like she's got enough in hand to take the lead. Across the line, yeah, 2300s, 55.20. So despite those 2 errors, that was actually quite a lot better than her first heat, nearly 0.2 of an improvement. Oh dear. She fell off the end of Kreisel there, didn't she? All at 6s and 7s.
You've really got to look long around Kreisel because it is such a big corner, like you said earlier. It takes a while to get around, but it comes quickly, the exit.
And it's funny, in a car, when you're looking around a long corner, you sort of turn your head sideways. When you're in a Kreisel, you're looking up, aren't you? Because you're sort of the water in the bottom of the bucket as you go around the corner. So you're looking high over your sight line, looking for that exit. Bianca Ribby next for Canada. 400s advantage over Ying Ching. So again, to stay where she is, she's got to be 0.2 better than she was first time down. She finished in 10th place yesterday. She's in 12th after the first run this morning. .607 at the start. A little bit of an improvement on her heat 1, which was a 6:10. We saw her take a peek up when she was running, actually, to see where she was at the start. So obviously wanting to make sure she loaded at the right time. Yeah, you don't want to run out of the drive lines because there's nobody driving the sled while you're busy pushing it, walking through it or jumping into it. Top speed into the Kreisel, good exit as well. Szymanska still with top speed at the bottom half of the track. Let's see if Ribby can be as clean. She's dropped into the red by 600s. Now still trailing Ying Ching. Has she got it at the line? No, 55.28. So her first heat advantage has been subsumed and she's 400s back. And again, we talked about how close the races are on this track. Mika, not only have we got ties after the first heat, but a few hundreds, you can go up or down. Yeah, we've got pockets of pilots, haven't we, in competitions with each other throughout the field. Yeah, Ribby was only 400s ahead of Ying Ching and only 300s behind a dead heat for 10th. So that's 4 sleds covered by 800s. I mean, Ying Ching could end up in the top 10 if the next 2 don't have their wits about them. And again, if they can't improve at the same rate that the Chinese slider did. Next up, Monobob. There is the legendary Bruno Mijon, who coaches France and Monaco. Max Robert, one of his former brakemen, he's also looking after the 2 teams. They combine very nicely together. Monobob 9th place yesterday, 10th after the first heat. Off the 13th best start, so she's not the fastest starter, but she can drive the sled. Again, finds 3 extra hundreds in the start over her first getaway. Yeah, and a double monobob race, you know, we said yesterday, it's sort of like having that opportunity of a World Champs where you've got 4 runs, but it does bring that tiredness with it as well. So to see these girls improving at the start is really good. And they'll be racing again tomorrow morning in the women's bob. And then we'll at least have company when they're pushing and in the sled. 1300s back. She's not improving on her first heat the way that Ying Ching did. Much cleaner there, though, from 9 to 10. Not sure if she's got enough speed on board to close the gap down. It is coming down. There's only 3 corners left. Oh, 600s back. Ying Ching picks off another one. So what looked like an okay run in the first heat, added to with a much better run in the second heat for the Ying Ching, has moved her up 2 spots already. Margot Bock also dropping behind Bianca Ribby by 200s. So she's slipped a couple of spots. That's a little unfortunate double tap heading down to the Kreisel and a tail skid, which sort of puts the nose attitude too high up coming into the Kreisel. So she's got to deal with that while she's looking for the way out. Looks like she's wrenched her shoulder a little bit as well. That'll be the braking straight for you. Ying Ching of China leads. There are 10 sleds still to go. Third race of the Monobob World Cup. A little view down there of the entertainment area in the middle of the Kreisel. Glühwein stand, doing a bit of business. And there is our race leader, Ying Ching. Starting to put the layers on quite quickly. It isn't exactly warm outside, still hovering around -3, but the views are spectacular. Mika, that's one of the great things about coming to slide here. Not just that it's a good track for learning on, but when you're up at the top, no matter what time of morning it is, the views are always gorgeous.
Oh yeah, it's definitely selfie station point at the top of the track. It's perfect for it.
Well, here's a view of what goes on behind the scenes that you don't see. The sleds being loaded into their scabbards, then dragged onto the back of a truck and taken back to the top of the mountain. Coaches down there watching the action. Rico Peter on the left-hand side, and the little media area there as well. ORF and SRF, the Austrian and Swiss TV crews, are here waiting to talk to the athletes. And lots of great women and male athletes who'll be racing tomorrow also coming down to take a look at the track. You quite often see athletes doing track walks while there is a race in progress, because you can stand and look at the corners and judge from what you know how the sleds are going through. It looks like Margot has just tweaked a muscle in the back of her neck there. She got out of the sled, and you know that thing where you sleep funny and you wake up and you say, she's obviously got that.
Neck.
Yeah.
And that's the type of brake woman you want, isn't it? That'll give your neck a rub at the end of a run.
Yeah, well, I have Ilko for that, so you know. So you saw Victoria Chernanska there again. Her coach is at the top, she's at the bottom, doing all the work herself. Great opportunity there for the kids to sit in the bobsleigh and get a photo, have a little look at the less than comfortable interior. Final 10 sleds, race 3 of the BMW IBSF Women's Monobob World Cup here in Innsbruck in Austria. Martin Haven and Mika Moore watching action. Ying Ching of China leads. Next up, Wai Mingming, her teammate. Wai was tied for 10th place after the first heat, and she has 800s in hand, 700s in hand over her teammate from that first heat. But Ying Ching improved by 2/10, so Wai basically needs to do the same just to stay in front.
6 flat start compared to 6:04 in Heat 1, so she's off to a good start. I think these two have a nice little bit of competition between them during the World Cup races, don't they?
Yeah, they definitely do. As in most multi-sled teams, you want to beat your teammates, not just because of bragging rights, but if you can't beat your teammate, you're never going to win anything. 800s back, 9th best speed. She is the slowest sled so far. That does not bode well. She's going to sink like a stone at the moment. Little skid from 9 to 10. 4th on the splits. Behind Ying, behind Ribby, behind Bock. Might drop behind Catty Bile, doesn't by 200s, at 55.48. Well, finding that 2/10 has really given Ying Ching afterburners in this tight group. She's vaulted them all, and she will be now no worse than 10th.
Yeah, that run that she put in has really put her in a good position. I mean, it wasn't a terrible drive from Mingming. Her exit of Kreisel was nice. Let's have a look at 9 here, how she came out and see those runners turn in to get her off the corner. And a little bit of a tap into 10.
right up by the woodwork. Right up there. Janice Minnings will be pointing that out to her. Next up, 9th after the first of our 2 heats, is Adele Nicol, making her debut as a driver in the World Cup this weekend in the Monobob. Nikki McSweeney will be in the women's bob tomorrow for Team GB. And Adele, the former British and Welsh, or current British shot put champion, former break woman like Mika. Let's see what she's got at the start. 5.98, that's a good getaway.
Yeah, improvement at the top of the track there. And as you mentioned, shot putter in the summer, classes herself as a dual athlete. And it's not unheard of in bobsleigh, is it? You know, we think of the likes of Lolo Jones, Olympic hurdler and world champion bobsleigh brakewoman. So,
yep. Exactly so. Nice looking, neat and tidy run. Adele getting herself nice and low in the sled, looking around the peak in the cow as she's searching for the line. Second best speed, but still 2/10 up on Ying Ching of China. Good exit. This is exactly what she wanted after yesterday. She had a fun day yesterday. Today, the homework is paying off. She's a quarter second up. This is a really nice looking run from Adele Nicol. 55.17, 100th quicker than her first heat. 2 really neat and polished runs. Big thumbs up there from Graham Richardson. Punches the air with delight, and rightly so. Lots of very happy squealing, and so there should be.
That's better.
Well, Mika, when it feels good, doesn't it?
oh, you definitely know when you've had a good run. Yeah, you can see those runs turning out of 9 there as she comes round and off the corner, but controlled it nicely down into 10.
Yes, that's better. Yes.
There you go. Top 10 finish guaranteed on her first race weekend for Adele Nicol. And this is not a field that is thin of talent. Speaking of which, you don't get very much more talented than world champion monobob driver Lara Nolte. 6:04, so her advantage over Adele, which was 1800s, is down to 1200s as she sits down.
Yeah, one of the few pilots to sort of drop a couple of hundredths on the start there, but what we do know about Laura is she can drive it down the track very well. Will she find the speed that she's looking for?
She's still in the green, and 800s becomes a 1/10 of a second advantage at the Kreisel. Top speed for Lara Nolte. Nice out of 9, tiny little touch. Now, is this going to move her up? There were 4 sleds covered by 400ths of a second ahead of Adele Nicol. Lara Nolte takes the lead, 55.04, slower than her first heat. And the world champion only 1300ths quicker down than the rookie. So Adele Nicol, again, spoke to her after yesterday's race and said, look, you've just got to judge not where you're going, but where you've come from. But Adele came down 55.17. Lara Nolte, the world champion, only 1300ths quicker in identical conditions, in identical kit. That's a great boost for a young driver to be so close to the speed of some really talented top flight athletes. Just about got away with that. Not happy. She'll be looking forward to tomorrow's race as well. Now, Andrea Grecu, bronze medalist last week in La Plagne, her first ever Monobob World Cup medal. And yesterday, Andrea finished a strong 6th. Now, she lies in 7th place at the moment. She had 200ths in hand over Lara Nolte, 100th behind Alana Myers-Taylor, a further 100th behind 5th place Cynthia Appia. This could go either way, up the ladder or down the snake. Loads nice and neatly 588, same as in the first heat. And actually, as quick as she loaded yesterday, taking fewer steps today and with a much safer load.
Yeah, sometimes it actually works better not to run it as far and just to get it sled and use your momentum to help with the velocity.
3100s up on Lara Nolte, but only the sixth best speed. Nolte was fastest at the Kreisel, so the gap comes down. Ooh, and a big skid there. That's going to take 2/10 out of her time at the bottom as well. Down to 1700s from 2800s. This is going to be close. She should have the lead. She does have the lead. Well, Lara Nolte gives a little sporting applause. I think she's done with Monobob for the moment. It sort of comes and goes with Lara. You know, some weeks she just can't get on with it. Some weeks she can.
And like you said earlier, Martin, sometimes, you know, sometimes it's your day, sometimes it might be your day, but you go back, you refocus. And for these girls, they get to come back out tomorrow in the bigger sleds and go again.
Yep. I have to try and remember to do a little bit more steering in the two-seat sled. There's a bit more weight, a bit more momentum. Coach camera is a great thing, isn't it? Andrea Greco, the leader then, with 6 to go. The Romanian finished 6th yesterday. Alana Myers-Taylor, who is in 6th, finished 5th yesterday. They're all looking to move up a spot to match their previous best. Started 596 and a 598 getaway, so she loses a 10th at the start to Andrea Greco, which immediately puts her 900s back when she sits down. She's going to have to outdrive that start to stay in the top half dozen. She's stopped the bleeding at the Kreisel and a good exit. Here we go, closing the gap with the best speed so far. Don't forget, identical sleds for all the athletes, so this is driving ability. Ooh, level, easing just ahead. This will be 100th or 2 at the line. 500s in front, 54.93. And again, bounced off both walls in the braking stretch. The driver hauling on the handles, the levers from the floor of the sled with both hands, so nothing to steer with. So you're just thrown around by the ice.
Yeah, really nice run from Alana. Do you know what? I actually just really like watching her and taking it in because the focus, the determination, you can see it behind the sled. Yeah, she's one of my faves. Can you tell?
Yeah. All right, 5 more to go. Alana Myers-Taylor is our race leader here in Innsbruck. Coach Lyndon Rush with driver Cynthia Appiah, the start record holder on this track. Cynthia finishing in 8th place yesterday, in the top 5 here today, 100th in hand over current leader Alana Myers-Taylor of the USA. So which of our North American drivers will lead with only 4 sleds to go?
583 at the start, and she dove straight into that seat, didn't she?
Yeah. There's a couple of ways of doing it. One step in and then jump into the seat, or some athletes just jump in from the back handles and hope to land it correctly. It's a high-risk strategy, but then when you've got 75 to 85 kilos landing going forward into the sled, it adds that extra bit of acceleration if you get it right. 6th best speed, but a quarter second in hand still from that faster start over Alana. This is going to be good enough for Cynthia Appiah to take the lead and improve on yesterday's 8th. She'll be no worse than 5th place. 54.81 the slide. 54.96 her previous trip down, so 1500s better.
And that is a happy pilot.
Absolutely. When you're ahead of a quality driver like Alana,
Hey everyone at home, Merry Christmas!
you know you're doing a good job. Alana, the Olympic silver medalist in Monobob, one of her 4 Olympic medals in her driving career. Looping down there nicely, straight down where she wanted to, just the tiniest of rubs.
Everyone at home, thanks Canada!
Best of 4 runs this weekend for Cynthia Appiah, leaves her as the leader with 4 to go. So what's Keisha Love got for us this morning? Yesterday she was 4th. Last week on her first ever World Cup drive in anything, she took gold. Safe to say she can start a sled, and apparently she knows how to drive one as well. Just 6 official races before she started last weekend. So right in the foothills of learning to drive a sled. 580, finds 700s of an improvement. That's how serious she is about getting the medals here. She knows they're waiting.
That just gave me a little bit of goosebumps on my arms. That was very cool. A big improvement at the start there, and as we know, that's going to see a big improvement at the bottom as well if she can get it down nice and clean.
Well, she was 1800s off the lead in the first heat, so 700s improvement in the start is a massive margin. Now she needs to find a little extra in the drive. Second best speed, opening up her advantage over Cynthia Appiah. A rattle from 9 to 10, high in 10, but brings it down cleanly. 2400s up, she's still building the advantage. Great run, this could be a medal now for Keisha Love. 54.68 compared to 54.85, 1700s quicker. She was 1800s off the lead. That's a shout for a medal.
Good run. 580 start. Yes. That's it.
That's the brake woman in her wanting to know what the start was as well.
Yeah. That's what the coach's job is to tell the brake or push athletes what the start is, whether they're in the front seat or not. And what a thing to have to say after her run in La Plan. Start record, track record. Doesn't get much better than that, says Tuffy Latour, and the gold medal that went with it. Well, she hasn't got a start record or a track record here, but she's the leader with 3 to go, and that means everybody else needs to find at least a 10th and getting on for 2 tenths if they want to hold on to the medal. 500ths of a second in hand, Melanie Hassler. Silver medalist last week in La Plan.
.589 at the start, so not an improvement. 100s dropped at the start there, but 3rd best speed coming out of corner 2.
400s behind as she sat down, so she needs to use her greater knowledge and experience of this track and of driving monobobs to drive herself into the lead. The gap with that start deficit is out to 1400s, and look at the speed, only the 9th best. Keisha Love was the 2nd fastest at the Kreisel. She's coming back, she's clean a 9 to 10. Is this going to be a medal for Melanie Hassler? She's 1400s back into the labyrinth. I'm not sure she's got enough at the line. I think she'll be behind. She is. Keisha Love in the medals again. 54.84. 2nd place for Melanie Hassler. Not out of it yet. 2 to go. She lies in 2nd place.
Watch this when she leaps in, Martin. She really just slides down into that sled. For such a tall athlete as well, she peeks under the cowling to grab the D-rings, and she's on her way.
And that has the advantage also that she tucks her head out of the airstream. Now, at 40 Ks, does it make a difference? Maybe, marginal, but we're talking marginal gains here, aren't we? So Melanie Hassler second. There's Pierre Luders. That's an interesting Pierre Luders face. He and Brianna Walker joined up last year, and they are having a great time working together. Brie, the silver medalist yesterday, in the silver medal position, 800s in front of Keisha Love after the first heat, and a 10th out of the lead. She made mistakes in the first heat. She knows it. And if she can tidy those up, she could win this. 586, what a good start. Finds another 400s. This is all about the drive. 200s behind the American leader as she sat down. The gap opens up to 4. She can't allow it to open up anymore. Little tap out of 6 down to the Kreisel, but best speed for Brianna Walker. Better exit from the Kreisel. Still 500s back though. Still top speed. Ooh, this is going to be close. Little rattle there into the labyrinth. Still 500s back. Could be a dead heat at the line. How close is she? 200s back. Keisha Love with at least a silver. She could win this. Brianna Walker in second. Melanie Hassler in third. And the final sled. Lisa Buchwitz of Germany has only won twice in Monobob, both times on this track.
Yeah, really nice run there, wasn't it? Just a tap out of 10, sent probably a little bit late into 11, but as we know, this is going to be close at the bottom, wasn't it?
It's going to be super close. 200s in it for the lead. There's Brie. Could be a winner. Saw the blonde-haired Sandra Kroll. Didn't know she was here this weekend. Bavarian driver. Used to race for Germany. Has been helping with the coaching for Brie for the last couple of years. Now then, what about Lisa Buchwitz? One here in February, one here yesterday morning. This for the hat-trick. 1800ths of a second in front. She's the fastest starter in the field. The start record is 5:76. She started 5:79 in the first heat. 5:78. So 200s off the start record. So she's 2/10 in front as she sits down. And it takes a long time for that speed advantage at the start to unwind.
It does. She's got to make sure the top part of this track is nice and clean, which it is so far. Exit 5, exit 6 into Kreisel.
Now she only starts 200ths of a second quicker than Keisha Love, so the big gap between them is the first run of Keisha's that wasn't as tidy. Best speed for Buchwitz. Ooh, gets an unfortunate tap there into 10. Gap's coming down. Only 500s lost since the start. This is a third straight goal for Lisa Buchwitz. 54.75 run. She does enough to take her third Monobob World Cup win, her third in Innsbruck. Now all she's got to do is work out how to win in other tracks. But that is 3 on the bounce for Lisa Buchwitz here in Eagles. And look, she's still a relatively new driver. The last Winter Games, she was a push athlete as well. She was the 2018 Olympic champion with Mariama Yamanka. So she's got a massive start, but this is going to be an interesting battle over the next 12 months or so. Lisa Buchwitz versus Keisha Love. Keisha, the silver medalist. Brie Walker, the bronze. But Lisa Marie Buchwitz, 2 golds in the space of just over 24 hours here in Innsbruck. That is a big weekend, Mika.
That is a very big weekend, and it's amazing to see what you can do when you've got that excellent start and adding it to a good drive. We're seeing it with Lisa, we're seeing it with Keisha. It's very exciting for the future, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. So 3 wins in Innsbruck, February, and then yesterday and today. Keisha Love, second place. She now has 1 medal of each. She hasn't got bronze yet, has she? She was 4th yesterday. Brianna Walker, silver yesterday, bronze today. Mel Hassler takes 4th, ahead of Cynthia Appiah and Alana Myers-Taylor. And Adele Nicol, 9th place in her first weekend as a World Cup driver. Congratulations to her. Ying Ching of China leapt up 4 spots in the second heat to take 10th, ahead of Bianca Ribby, Margot Bock and Wang Ming Ming. Cassie Barr moved up to 14th, ahead of Linda Vyshevsky, Victoria Chinanska, Jada Andriuti and Yulia Slupeka. And that is it for 2023 for the Monobob. Women's bobsleigh returns tomorrow morning, so it's a triple duty weekend for our female drivers. We may also see Kim Kalicki back. They're going to take a look at her physically in the morning to see whether she actually makes the start or not. But Lisa Buchwitz, well, she'll be going into tomorrow's race feeling very happy with herself and her results here in Innsbruck. She clearly knows how not to bleed speed down this track. The downside for her is she now has to do an interview in English. So she doesn't want to do the interviews. She's got to stop winning. Keisha Love, though, is our new World Cup points leader from Lisa Buchwitz. Bree Walker up to 3rd, ahead of Melanie Hassler, Lana Myers-Taylor and Andrea Grecu. And we rejoin battle the second weekend of January in St. Moritz, the most historic, the most beautiful bobsleigh track of them all. Till then, Monobob is done for 2023, part of this season, and the women's bobsleigh comes up tomorrow morning. 2-man this afternoon, 1:30 local, 12:30 GMT, 07:30 Eastern. We'll hear from Mika Moore again tomorrow morning with the women's bobsleigh. Greg Cackett will be in this afternoon to talk us through the 2-man. Till then, from everybody here from the IBSF TV crew, me, Martin Haven, saying thank you for joining us. We'll see you later. Bye for now.